Sending positivity to those out there that are impacted by the Rona. Today I'm here to teach you about video games. Not sure if you've heard of them. And maybe make you do the smiling.
Great success.
So last episode, we covered skill gems. And if you missed it, make sure you check it out. This week we're going to do the skill tree and how to navigate it. Plus, we'll have a little cursory glance at what path of building is and how you can use it. Now bear in mind, these videos are meant to give you a solid base level knowledge of how the different aspects of the game work. You'll inevitably have some questions or things that you may need clarification on. That's what the Twitch stream's for, and the comments section. So make sure you utilize them. Pop by on the stream. We're live Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday nights, 4 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time. Chuck something in the comments if you have any questions. So let's just say you've picked this game up and you press P and go into the skill tree. And you quietly fill your DAX.
Oh, hot, 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 hot.
It's overwhelming. There's too much to look at, to understand. It's crazy talk. But let me give you one solid little piece of information that will make it so much easier for you to navigate. If you press Control F or click up here on this little search bar, you can type what sort of skills you're looking for. So if you are looking for life, for example, you type life, and every node on the tree that contains life or the word life, may not be exactly life, will show up. It'll flash. So you can scroll in and out with the mouse wheel. So if you wanted to further filter it, go maximum life. And that will therefore get rid of the life leech ones. You can do it for anything that you're looking for. If you want spell damage, it'll show you where spell damage is. So that makes it a little bit easier to realize what you should be aiming for and where you can go in the tree to get what you need. It just makes traversing this cluck of a information overload just so much simpler. Now, your character begins where they start. They either start at one of these key locations. In my case, the shadow starts here. It gives you options from the get-go what you would like to build towards. If you're going more spell damage, you might go up no, not spell damage, energy, shield and regular damage. You could then go elemental or trap stuff. So you can start there or there, and then they split off. So these are just statistics or attributes, sorry. This side is more chaos damage, physical, attack speed. So every class has its starting point. The witch has spell damage or energy shield, and then minions or cast speed, and so on. They all start with a little bit of an option. The only exception is the Scion, who starts in the middle. Her ascendancy leads her to be able to start from another class starting point. So she'll start here. You can pick one of 6. And you can go out any direction if you went up that way, but then you could also start down here without needing to travel between the nodes. So it's pretty useful. So in the most basic sense, what you're aiming to do here, up here, is you're trying to get the most effect, the most bonuses, the most impact from the amount of skill points that you get in the game. There are a finite amount if you get to level 100 and do all the things. So you want to get the most impact out of the skill points that you get. So basically, you're trying to aim for these larger nodes rather than the smaller nodes. The larger nodes have a much greater impact, and they're key sort of nodes. These are called notables. You'll notice that quite often you will get the notable and then stop getting whatever else is behind it. So in this situation, to save points, I didn't go for the extra 6% life. I was going here purely for this blood drinker. Got 8% life and life leech. So you're better off, rather than getting the entire tree, unless it's exactly what you need for each point, you want the notable and then move on. So basically you'll have travel points. Travel points are these sort of things. These will lead you between skill circles, I guess you'd call them. So you travel one node between this and this to get that skill and that skill circle. So basically what you need to look at is the amount of travel nodes or travel points that it costs you to get from A to B. So as you can see, this node down here, very important, but it costs a lot of travel. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We go 8 travel nodes to get down here. So on the way to this very important skill, we try and get as much useful stuff as we can. So we get some life here and ailment avoidance. We get evasion, rating, and move speed. While we're there, we get some herbalism with life and flask stuff. We get bow damage here. You could get the dual socket. You could get frenzies. You could get... Well, we got this one because it's very important. But basically, you're looking for the most impact on your way to each skill point that is important for you. Now, if you have taken the wrong skills, or you want to go back and respec a bit, if you decide that you don't want this. So say, for example, I didn't want to take Potency of Will for whatever reason. You can refund your passives and put them anywhere else on the tree. So I can go refund passives, click, click, get rid of those skills, and I would press apply refunds if I didn't want them. You then would apply it, and then you're free to put your skill points anywhere else. So I could take that, or I could go up here, or I could go anywhere I want. I pressed cancel because I don't want to get rid of that. These refund points can be earned from quest lines right from Act 1. I think the first one, it's like a Den of Evil sort of quest. You clear out this cave sort of thing and you get respec points as your reward. You can also find respec points. They're called Orbs of Regret, and these will give you a passive skill refund point. So when you right click on it, you have now received a passive respec point. So I should have 3. Excellent. So it's as simple as that. You can also trade. Don't forget, guys, that important thing, you can trade for your currency that you need. So a regret costs 2 orbs of scouring. So if I had a zillion orbs of scouring and no orbs of regret, you can always trade up. So don't forget that. So something important to note is you can't take out points on the tree that will disconnect your passives. So basically, if I was to try and refund, I noticed that I can't unclick these. That is because I have skill points all the way down here that rely on those being connected. So it must stay connected. I can't get rid of this because it needs to be there to join these, that, and that. I could get rid of these, no problem, but I still can't get rid of that. So yeah, you can't cheat the system. Your skill tree needs to stay connected to your first point. That's why you need to travel. Now, real quickly, I'm going to mention a little thing called Path of Building. If you don't know what it is and you're new to the game, it can be a bit overwhelming, but again, I'm here to help you understand it. So basically, Path of Building, you go to pathofbuilding.community and just install the program from there. Go for the community fork because that will allow you to import anyone's builds. And basically, this is a way, without having to use Orbs of Regret and use all your refund points, this is a way to simulate what it looks like to try out different points on your tree. So I'll give you a quick rundown, but we'll do a proper expansion on this in another video, I guess. This is you could start new. So here you go. So let's say you were a ranger and you wanted to know where you wanted to go daggers. So you type dagger down the bottom and it'll highlight anything that has the word dagger in it. So you can see this side of the tree is about where you want to go. So then you can work your way there. So you can click points and just pick them as you like. But if you just click on where you would like to get to from the start, it will show you the quickest way to get there. That's pretty cool. So then I want to get to there, and I want to get to there, and this. So yeah, it's very useful. It's a great tool. It'll also tell you your damage, your life. You can put skills in. Like chuck in, I want righteous fire. There you go, it'll tell you your damage. And then you can add support gems to it. You can do all the things. You can add every item that you want. So let's say I wanted to use this shield and I want to use that staff or something like that. It'll tell you your damage over here. Yeah, it's pretty intensive. You can also import someone else's build. So this is, as a new player, this is the screen that you want. Import, export, build. Import from paste bin. You paste in a paste bin link and press import, and it will load a full tree. It will look a little something like this. Like so, it'll be all filled out. It'll have your ascendancies. It'll have all the items that you should be aiming for, the skills and the way they've set them up. It's got everything you need. So path of building, get around it. It is good. So yeah, I'll do a proper video on path of building later on. The next thing I wanted to cover for you is jewel sockets. So these little babies, basic jewel sockets. So as you can see, there are a few. You could, if you wanted, jewel socket. So it'll show you where on the map there are jewel sockets, which is very useful. As you come across them, you can put your jewels in there. You can replace them at any time. So I've got one here, and this jewel, you can take it out. Just right click on it. Done. So this is what it'll look like when it has no jewel in it. You can switch jewels at any time with no issue. Just be careful if you're getting some stats from your jewels. It might stop you from being able to use some items. But basically, it's a good way to get resistance, some extra stats and stuff like that on your way through. So if you needed some extra cold and lightning resistance, for example, you could whack that in. If you wanted to put, so there are different types of jewels, bear in mind. There are regular jewels, so there's 3 types. There's Viridian, Cobalt, and the other one. There are abyssal jewels, which could also be placed in the right sort of belt that has an abyssal socket. It's a Stygian Vice, but we haven't got one equipped. But these can also go in there. It'll have a different sort of picture to those sort of gems. But as you can see, you can just socket them whenever you like. You can also put unique jewels in, and some of these unique jewels will have effects with an AoE sort of thing. So this one, notable passives in radius are transformed to grant 10% increased mana cost and increased spell damage. So anything to do with mana, if it was within this circle, would be affected by that. And then there are super duper uniques that are quite rare, like the Thread of Hope that you get from killing Big Boss, that will allow you to almost cheat. You can assign unlinked notables within this radius. So this is obviously a bad place to do it because there's not much useful stuff in the way. But if you wanted necromantic aegis for some reason, you could then just select that skill and it would not need to be connected to anything. So it kind of breaks the rules. If you get some skill points to go out here, put your Thread of Hope there. I believe the radius sits over these two, which are very useful. So if you didn't want to get all these extra little points, you can save yourself a lot of skill points and just put that there. And then you can get those two without having to get the connections. That's pretty cool. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on are cluster jewels. So these are called large jewel sockets as opposed to basic jewel sockets. What you need to know about these is any type of jewel can go in a large jewel socket. However, anything that is a large, medium, or small cluster jewel cannot go in a basic jewel. Every type of jewel can go in a large jewel socket. So you could put a normal Viridian jewel, you could put a you could put a abyss jewel, you could put a unique jewel, you could put a cluster jewel in any large jewel socket. See how it's a little bit different? Little bit different. However, you cannot put clusters in a basic jewel socket. Does not work. Will not allow it. So it'll tell you what this large cluster will grant you. You could put that in there and then it gives you a new skill tree. So you can sort of customize a skill tree. So basically it's got 2 dual sockets, and then each node is elemental damage. Or you could put a medium cluster, which has less nodes and less dual sockets. So what you need to be wary of here is the large cluster has medium dual sockets. So you can only put medium or small clusters in a medium dual socket. You can put any size in a large. So yeah, that makes sense, right? You can put a medium in a large. You can put a small in a large, and you can put a large in a large. However, in a medium, you can only put medium and small. So once the medium's in there, it makes another little thing. And inside your medium, you'll have small dual sockets, which you can only put smalls in. So it's meant to be like a chain effect. You have a large cluster that then makes medium clusters, that then makes small clusters. So don't forget, in this large cluster, you could also put plain jewels. You could put a normal Viridian jewel. You could put an Abyss jewel. So there you go. Nice and fun. So yeah, basically that's a little overview of clusters. And the final thing, once you've unlocked ascendancies, this on this screen, this is how you access them. Go to your character's starting position, and there's this little thing here. Doink. You can hide it. This is your ascendancy. So this, once you've done the labyrinth, if you have not done any labyrinth yet, this will not be visible. You won't have that arrow. But once you've done the ascendancy trials, you should unlock 2 skill points for each one. And that's how you access that. Okay, so the final thing to note is in the skill tree, there are little... If you press Alt on a notable, it will show up these 3 little vials. If you have no idea what that means, that's okay. We'll probably cover this when we do the blighted maps and stuff. But basically, you can anoint an amulet to grant a notable skill without being connected to it. So in this situation, I've allocated corruption on my amulet, as you can see up the top there. If I go in the search bar and go corruption, see how my skills are all over here? Oh yes, this is also, have a look at this. You got a large cluster. You've got 2 dual sockets. We put a small in the medium, just so we could get more dodge. We put a medium in the other medium, and then we've put a plain jewel in the small. So you can customize your clusters however you like to get maximum effect. But basically, sorry, sidetracked. Corruption is all the way over there. I wanted it for the chaos damage. Imagine how many skill points I would have to spend to get over there. I would have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoa, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I would need to spend 13 skill points to get that notable. Instead, I just pressed Alt on this. I needed a red and 2 black oils in order to anoint that. So if you have a look at your oils, I don't have enough blacks, but I have a red and a black. You would need the second black. Yeah, you can do that for any notable. Take it to Cassia and go anoint item. So if you put this in here, you then put the oils there and go anoint, and it will give you your corruption. Now there are rarities, but yeah, obviously you can get any notable. So if I'm over on this part of the skill tree and I wanted to get slaughter for some reason, we would need 3 blue oils. So that's about enough for this video. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you leave them below. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. I don't know what it's going to be about, but I'm sure it'll be erectionly. I'm sure it'll be erectionly. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Or night. Or something.